Hello, my name is Bryson McBride,
And my name's Daniel.
and welcome to the Lads Podcast.
Hey Bryson, how about you tell me a story?
Okay, it's your bedtime, so I guess it makes sense.
Dad, I want a story.
Okay, a good story about my experience in elementary school.
Alright.
So, as a kid, grew up in Minnesota. Uh, Lots of snow, as expected. Uh, but specifically in elementary school, uh, during recess, what we would often do is we would often play in the snow. That's a pretty good reason.
That's
Good reasoning.
That's kind of basic.
Yeah, but there's something that you wouldn't expect.
Yeah.
So, you go outside. What do you do with all the snow? People often build snow forts or build snowmen or have snowball fights, right?
Yeah.
We built snow walls. We decided, these clumps of snow are perfect for building a wall. Notice like calf height, like mid calf. It's probably like the size of them if you're, I don't know, maybe like a good 2 feet or so tall.
Yeah.
It's really really small wall, but hey, for us it was a huge wall. Remember, this is elementary school,
See, yes.
so like I'm assuming in your elementary school years you didn't have a whole lot of snow, right?
Uh, Considering I went to the school here in Washington, so we did kinda,
Uh,
but we didn't do like that much of stuff with it.
mm. Did you ever like how many? If you had a snow day, were you like? Did you ever go to school during a snow day?
No, we didn't.
And how many inches of snow would there be usually?
Not very much.
Back in Minnesota, we'd have about maybe a foot of snow, and guess what? Snow plows are everywhere. So just hey, you think you're not gonna be going to school? Nah, you're going to school. Only if there's
Nice.
3 feet of snow are you not going to school.
Here, it like snows like an inch, and everyone's like, "Well, guess the world's ending."
Minnesota, it snows like 3 feet. Still go to school, kid. 50 below, go to school.
That sounds kind of like this is. I know this is not part of it, but like when I used to live in El Salvador, over there we have a flood season, and normally people over there, the ground could just be underwater, and everyone's like, "Yep, you're going to school anyway."
Yeah, you sir, you go to school. It's basically that.
We use a submarine,
It's
you get to school.
it's reverse flooding, snow
Yep.
submarine. Uh, and this being back in elementary school, it reminds me of there's just one time where I was getting picked on by a couple of kids, and they were hogging the play set, meaning they weren't letting anyone else go onto the play set, right? So like
Yeah.
it's got the monkey bars, it's got all the like kind of looks like a fort almost. You know
Yep.
those?
Yeah.
So there's just like 2 or 3 kids that were hogging the entire thing. They wouldn't let anyone else on. So what I did, I teamed up with the school bully,
Oh
and I
God.
said, "Hey, would you like to liberate the playground with me?" You know what he said?
What?
He said yes.
You have the bully on your side now.
Basically, I contracted the bully to help me take back the uh,
The
the playground
playground.
uh, from these kids that were just hogging it. Afterwards, I was like, the biggest insult I knew at the time was no 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 boo boo or something like that I saw from like one of those Lego Star Wars animations or like stop motion animations and all that.
That's like the most childish like insult right there.
It literally was. But that's the biggest insult I knew. And
Wow.
I felt bad for saying that. But I did this with the bully, and we liberated it for the whole playground.
Nice.
That probably was an exaggerated version of that. But man alive, was it was I that was an interesting day, to say the least. Just like that one meme where it's the two arms like gripping and doing like the
Oh yeah.
handshake and all that. It's
Yeah.
kind of like that.
The
Just
bu- the bully and the
me
nerd
the
helping
bully,
each other.
me the bully, freeing the playground. We're liberating. We're creating a coup against the government. The government
Nice.
being the playground. We're doing a revolution, boys.
Epic.
That was an interesting day. And then afterward, I went back to playing and sitting in the snow.
You just wanted to do something.
We wanted to do something.
So you just decided
That bring
I'm gonna throw a revolution at the playground.
well, time for a revolution. Guess I'm part French. Not actually.
No.
Uh, that brings me back as well to another snow day. This day, we got maybe a good 15 elementary school kids. They're all like in second or third grade or so. And this is
Yeah.
recess time, and before recess time, we wanted to make a huge snowman. When I mean a huge snowman, I mean a huge snowman.
The big boy.
In comparison to our size, no, we were maybe a good like 2 or 3 feet tall or so
Yeah,
at the time.
it's elementary school, right?
Yeah, this is elementary school. We're all really short. We're shorties.
The big
Uh,
shorts.
But we decided one day that we wanted to make a cumulative snowman. We wanted to
Yeah.
gather a whole bunch of people in order to make this huge snowman. And at one point, the snowman got so big and so heavy that it towered over me, and it took 4 kids in order to push it. And then at one point, we had to push it up a hill in order to get it momentum to roll back and get more snow.
Yeah.
And we physically could not push up this ball of snow up that small hill.
Unfortunate.
I want to say that piece of snow, or that snowman base, was maybe like, I don't know, 40 or 50 pounds of snow.
Yeah.
There was like everyone at recess was trying to build this snowman. I don't think we ever actually built the snowman, but
You made the ball. You made the base.
we made the base. We didn't do anything after that, but the base is done.
Hey, that's some, I guess.
Yeah. And then we actually had one of our recess helpers, this big guy, that went into the Marines, I believe, after 3rd grade, I think, or after my 3rd grade. He was way older than us, but he went into the Marines after that.
Yeah.
And he actually came over, helped us push up the hill. To him, it was easy. For us, it was really difficult, and we all just looked up to this guy afterwards because we were like, "This guy is so strong.
He's the
Whoa.
chosen one.
He's the chosen one." And then after we learned that he was in the Marines, we just kept on giving him tips on how to throw a grenade. I kid you not.
Imagine that.
At the time, Call of Duty Black Ops 1 just came out, right?
Yeah.
And there's a feature in it where if you hold a grenade after you die, then the grenade is still there and live, right?
Yeah. The whole kill from the grave.
Yeah. So we were suggesting him that. Just if you get shot, use the grenade.
Use the nade.
Use the nade. Looking back at it, that must have scared the crap out of him.
Well, yeah, middle school or elementary school kids telling him use the grenade.
Use the grenade.
He's like,
Oh
why?
gosh.
He probably got just asked why. You gotta.
No, I don't think he ever asked why, but it was probably a pretty interesting time for him. He probably had a fun story to tell his parents. Oh man. Uh, I'm trying to think of some more experiences. Do you have any experiences from elementary school?
uh, do you know how like I went to a different middle or elementary school?
Hmm.
Because for elementary, I went to a different one than you, and we
Yeah.
had this like what do you call them the people that just kind of like oversee the whole area outside when you're out in recess.
I don't know, but I'm gonna just guess that they're called recess assistants or something like that.
Yeah, I think they had this like super stupidly but strict rule about not throwing snowballs every time it snowed, but that kind of backfired on them because at some point, what, twice a year, we just like everyone would make snowballs and then just absolutely destroy them the second we saw one of them. Which kind of also I did that once. I also got one in the head on accident, and I booked it out of there real
Just like,
quick.
oh crap,
They never
run!
they never figured out. She never figured out it was me. I think she just went in like to a random kid that was throwing snowballs and put the blame on him instead.
The police are coming after me.
Yeah.
Book it. It's the fuzz. Scram out of here, Jack.
The other thing I do remember was that eventually, I did get in trouble for it at one point, and obviously you for timeout you just kind of sit like by the door of your classroom,
Hmm.
accepting jokes on her like because the area outside of the elementary was massive, that when she turned the corner I just went straight back to playing.
Hot dang, just how you've been
So
juked.
yeah. So and she never found. I think she did probably figure out that I wasn't there anymore, and eventually she was like, whatever.
And just these kids freaking keep on escaping. Man.
I don't think even if she wanted to, she really couldn't do anything because, well, no, duh.
Yeah, it's children. What all can you do except for like, hey, you're coming with me,
Well,
bud.
it's not just that. There's like four of them, and there's like 300 of us just outside.
Hmm.
So I don't think they're gonna be able to find you really easily unless you're doing something stupid.
Oh yeah. So I've got another experience from
Yeah.
my elementary school.
Yeah.
So I had a pretty tough time making friends, just in general, because I have never been to a I've never been to an elementary school before first grade and all that, right?
Yeah.
I haven't been around that many kids, only like 4 kids total.
Yeah.
And those were all my parents' friends and all that. And after that, I didn't know what to do. So on the first day of school, I just went up to someone. The first guy I met, this guy named Blake.
Yeah.
I haven't talked to him ever since. But uh, after I saw him, I kind of just followed him, and then that was that.
Epic.
I just followed him around, and after during second grade is when he realized, oh, so you wanted to be my friend? That's what you meant.
It's not like I was just stalking you, you know?
Well, it's not really that I was stalking him. I was just kind of walking near him and then talking to him a few times, and then that's about it.
I see.
So that was fun making friends with him. So this is kind of a segue into the next topic. But were you ever bullied as a kid?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
And you know how that ended up? Because I did tell you this before.
yeah, you probably have, but you haven't told them.
Yeah. So there was this one kid from when I was in elementary school called. I don't remember for the life of me his last name, Either way, I
That's
wouldn't want
probably
to.
good. Don't give out last names.
Oh yeah, but either way, like he did bully me for like what was it, like 2 years or something. I normally am pretty passive, so I obviously just didn't do anything about it for a while, until
Mm,
eventually, obviously, like even like I have a limit. Eventually,
yeah.
he did kind of go a bit too far, and I just like we got into quite a bit of a fight, and I ended up breaking his arm, which was absolutely lit. I don't endorse
Okay,
doing
maybe
that.
maybe not absolutely lit, but still,
It was hype. Don't worry. I
probably
don't
not for him.
recommend. Do not do that to your bully. Just tell someone.
Yeah, just
But
tell a teacher or something like that.
yeah. So, but this happened like this whole fight happened outside of school. So I couldn't really tell a teacher. So but we did. But yeah, we got kind of in trouble for that, and that was not fun. But
Secretly, this is just a
that was kind of the
secretly this is
last
just a
time.
confession of your sins.
That was the last time I saw him, ironically enough, until like middle school. In which case, well, in middle school, I saw him for a bit, but we never like did anything. Obviously, it wasn't until like I think he found me at the library,
Hmm.
and I don't remember what he did, but he definitely I do remember he did some probably to aggravate me, and obviously being a lot older, I obviously fought back instantly. So
What?
I fought back instantly, and that's kind of how I got banned for like a week from the library.
Danny, what the frick?
What?
Anger management issues.
Well, no, it's not that. Do you recall that
It
guy?
is it. You just punched a guy for just saying
He did
something
it
aggravating.
first. Like he did it
I
first, so I was like, yes, let's fight, bring it.
uh,
So, but
you were in
anyway,
middle school during this?
that was in middle school. Yeah, we didn't break anything at that point.
What was
We
this,
just
like
kind of made
sixth
him.
grade?
What? It
What
wasn't.
was this, sixth grade?
I think so. Sixth or seventh. I don't remember.
It was before I met you because I
Well,
don't remember
yeah.
you ever getting banned from the
Well,
library.
yeah. Well, yeah. So I did get banned from the library for like a week, and I was like, epic. I can't go to the library anymore.
Oh no.
I've been banned. I gotta go somewhere else. So instead, I just went to the Snoqualmie one.
Well, there's
I
there's the
went to
getaway.
I went there for like what for like that week, and then I started going back to the other one. So it didn't really work.
Congratulations. Congratulations, you learned nothing.
Yep.
Uh, back. I guess not back to the topic, but as a kid or back in elementary school, this is still out in Minnesota. Uh,
Yeah.
there's this one group of kids that I'd see going out to recess every day because they're in a different class, but we're in the same grade or something like that.
Yeah.
And they went out to recess before me or slightly before me. But
Yeah.
I was walking down the hall, and as I'm walking down the hall, they're just getting out of the classroom also to go out to recess. And one of them
Yeah.
says, "Hey Bryson, you're cool." And then the next one goes up behind him and says, "The bad kind of cool." And I'm like, "Wait,
Oof.
what's that?" Constipated, overrated, overweighted loser.
Ew.
And I was like, bruh, freaking my self-esteem. And the ironic thing was, I was freaking thin. I was toothpick boy.
You were the
So I
tiny
don't know what they
boy.
were calling overweighted. And the thing is, I only had like one other friend at the time, so I was like lowest to self-esteem possible, and now I just got lower.
Yeah.
Didn't do anything about it. It just freaking hurt.
Oof. That feels bad.
Big oof.
The big oof.
Anyway, I hope they did terrible on their test. I
Oh
hope
no. Anyway.
commit eat tortilla chip vertically.
What's funny is that I think I remember that the only reason why I even met you, ironically enough, was because I wasn't even paying attention at the lunch line.
Oh yeah, you were playing Mario Kart, and I think
Yeah,
I
I'm
had a
like,
DS. So I was playing Mario Kart as well, or something like
yeah.
that.
I ran into the back of you when we were online because I wasn't paying attention.
Oof.
So that was real entertaining. I was like, because we were tall. You were still like you were actually a bit taller. So I was like,
Hmm.
nice. I'm about to get my rear kicked right here.
Congratulations, you just met the friendly giant.
so so I was like, well, guess I'll die. But no, I
Man who
don't.
start revolution.
Yeah, I don't remember what we did. I do remember that. I do remember that we did sit in the same lunch table. I think for that one because we both have 3DSs, so we're just like, all right, let's play.
Oh, time to duke it. Duel.
Time to duel. I do remember
It's
doing that,
10.
and that was lit.
That was awesome. And thus sparked a podcast.
And and thus
Like
here
8
we are.
years later.
Yeah,
Or not 8 years later, that's like, what was that, 4 years? 5?
yeah. Well,
Six?
it was in sixth, I think. Yeah,
Wasn't 6?
I don't remember.
Anyway. Uh, thus sparks it's the butterfly effect.
Yeah,
Uh, so after third grade of uh, after third grade,
yes,
there was a huge layoff at IBM,
yeah.
and my dad knew that he would probably be one of the next people to get laid off. There wasn't any specific reason of why everyone was getting laid off. I think it's just bad economy.
Oh, the bad
Uh,
money.
yeah, this is way back in. This was like 9 years ago or something like that. So I think it
Yeah.
was near. It was like in the middle of the housing crisis.
Oof.
So, economic downturn, banks were going
Oh yes,
bankrupt.
there's the neighbors.
There's the neighbors. Hola! I see
That's
you're here for the housing crisis, eh?
Yeah, that was perfectly timed with the whole housing crisis bit of it.
Anyway, I'm gonna try and power on through the lawnmower.
Yeah, they're going away right now, so it's fine.
So this is in like the middle of the housing crisis,
Yeah.
and as soon as he's about to get laid off, my dad finds a job over at Microsoft.
Oh, which is where is that
So
where? What?
yeah, that's where he works now. But
Okay, that's what I was guessing. Up, they're back.
s-
They're back for a
oh no.
vengeance.
But he moves out, or we all move out to Washington at the end of third grade. The sad
Yeah.
parting with Blake, after third grade. That was a sad time. Big oof.
Big oof.
But new chapter starts. Now we're in Washington, and this is when I get to our local, or at least my favorite elementary school. I did not like my previous Minnesotan elementary school. They taught us
Oh.
weird stuff like duck, duck, gray duck, and galoshes.
Oh.
And that's one really weird book called 50 Degrees Below Zero, where dad goes out in 50 degrees below zero and freaking turns into an icicle.
Oof. Have you seen like those memes of where people like wash pants or something and then like they put them in like outside in the freezing temperatures and then they're just like they stand those up and they're just like, yep, here I am.
Here I am with my frozen pants.
It's actually really funny because that's actually happened. That's also another thing that happened to me during not elementary, it was middle, and
Oh,
that was very unfortunate.
that's hilarious.
So couldn't use those pants for like a week because they were just like half frozen.
Oh, that's awesome. There's this one. So, you know our friend, right?
Yeah, yes, the Italian.
So, in fourth grade, I met him. I believe we were in the same class or something like that. And we used to go out to recess a bunch.
Yeah.
And we bonded over the age-old bonding of Ninjago.
Oh God.
Lego Ninjago. Oh,
God, that's old now.
it is old. But man alive, was it actually a surprisingly good series.
We're old now.
The robot scene with the spider birch trees. Oh.
Oh.
And then immediately after, was it Kong Skull Island? Copied that spider tree.
Yep.
I see where you got your inspiration. You can't hide from me, Kong Skull Island.
I see your games.
Yeah, you can't pull a fast one over me. But so me and became friends quickly with our. I also became friends with our with my friend as well.
Yeah,
Moved away. Uh, I think during 5th grade or after 5th grade, something like that.
yeah.
And then thus comes uh after 5th grade comes middle school. Not a lot happened
I
in between those 2 years of 4th and 5th grade.
yeah.
Then comes 6th grade.
Epic.
It's middle school. So at this point, me and Danny are in the same middle school.
That yes.
Yes.
Which is kind of ironic because I technically didn't even start at that middle school. I actually went to another one before I kind of showed up there halfway through the year.
Had no idea.
I went to the ironically enough the rival to
Ah, yes, we're rivals.
so so that was a kind of interesting thing.
How was your? I guess before we met, what was your experience like in middle school?
Well, considering I'd only gone to it was kind of funky.
Hmm.
Considering is a lot more strict than so that's why I was more surprised I could get away with a lot more crap than I did at
Well,
because they're just like, you know what, you're all adults, you're in middle school, you can do you.
you're all adults in middle school. You're only like 12
Yeah, and
max.
but I was like epic. But I did get in trouble quite a bit, mainly because I was stupid. So that's just me.
Danny not being able to hide any of his video game stunts,
Yeah.
playing video games in the middle of class,
The weird,
wearing
the weird,
his
the weird
Sonic
thing. Yeah.
overalls.
The weird thing about is that there are no lockers. So when I got to it was weird, like the whole locker thing.
Hmm. I think I had a locker for most of it, and I used the locker quite a bit.
For what, middle school?
But I never actually went to the locker during school.
I went to the locker in between every single period.
If I were to do that, I would have missed a class or two.
I probably
I
shouldn't
think I
say
just
this
brought my
online.
backpack with me after like 7th or 8th grade.
I shouldn't say this out loud, but like my locker was filled with just old papers, and I think in 8th grade I actually like from the first day of school I forgot I left the milk in there, so I was like, last day I was
Freaking
like, it was like, yep,
gosh darn it, Danny!
gotta quarantine that locker now.
I'm just gonna disinfect the entire area of a 15-foot radius.
Yep.
Uh, yep, I believe so. This will be interesting, an interesting topic.
Yeah.
So, the first good majority of my 6th grade experience during lunch
Yeah.
was spent at this table over near the door, like the
Yeah.
very end one after. You know how there was like the circular tables in the middle, and then there
Oh
was this
yeah.
line of like straight rectangular tables. I was on the one all the way on the very end, closest to the door.
I
Uh,
was always the one like that was like closest to one of the hallways.
yeah. Uh, but in this table, we had several people in there, uh,
Yeah.
including and some of his friends, right?
Oh yeah. Yes.
Uh, they'd always watch Family Guy funny clips.
Oh, I do remember him at some. I did meet him a while later, and I do remember him showing me that stuff as well.
He only watched that. That was the only thing he watched. And it was every single lunch period. It was just like, yeah,
Family
funny.
Guy.
I don't really like Family Guy or the humor, but everyone else is laughing, so I'll laugh along too.
the awkward chuckle.
That was my entire 6th grade, or at least what I remember, along with one of our teachers had we had like a really funny science teacher, right?
For which grade?
It was sixth grade.
Yeah. Who did you
Uh,
have? I had the I had.
that
I do remember. He was funny.
yeah.
He was my
He's a really funny guy.
he was my he was my basketball coach, and that was like the weirdest like year of basketball I ever had.
And that was the year he stopped doing basketball.
Oh no, he was actually one of the best coaches. It's just that he was really funny. At one point, he had like a one piece like pajama, and at one point he was like, "I'm going. If you guys don't do good, I'm gonna."
Boy.
Yeah, so we were like, "Excuse us." We didn't win that game, but that was also not very on purpose. So
uh, so
obviously, yeah.
I've had this teacher. He loves Seahawks.
Oh yeah.
He loves the Seahawks. So every Friday, as everyone's leaving, he would leave too with a huge flag of the Seahawks, wearing all Seahawks, screaming Seahawks, something like that.
Yep.
That was every Friday.
Oh, he'd do
Dude.
that in basketball as well. He'd arrive with that big old flag, and we're like, "All right, this is gonna be a funky day, isn't it?"
Yeah. I just realized we're gonna have to do some bleeping.
Oh yeah.
I'm talking to you, Danny.
I didn't say anything.
You
Not-
did.
Not yet, at least.
Lies, deceit. Anyway, that's pretty much my school experience up until now. Everything else has been just a blur.
Yep.
Any other fun experiences that you can think of?
I do recall that this was also when I met Caesar in basketball, but like I do recall that in one of the basketball games, like when we were like warming up for it, I couldn't for the life of me avoid getting hit by like literally all the basketballs that kept getting shot. At one
Just
point,
kept getting
I was literally, no joke, standing on the opposite side of the court just to avoid, and somehow one of them still bounced it off the top of the backboard, and it still came and hit me in the back of the head.
Oh, that's awesome.
So I was like, ah, yes, I'm the big cursed.
That reminds me. I played the trombone, right?
Yes, in middle. I don't know if you did in middle school, but I know you did in high school.
I played it in middle school. I played it in elementary school as well.
Oh, I see.
But the main reason why I kept going after elementary school was because I realized, wait a minute, I can get out of gym if I play an instrument, of which I do.
This is how you do.
And this is how I do it. And so I lazily played the trombone during middle school, doing absolutely terribly, but still getting pretty good grades in the class.
Well, yeah, it wasn't
Just
that class just basically participation.
It was mostly participation, except for you had to do scale checks.
And you also did
There's
the
like a test.
performances. The performances as well. Now that I
Yeah,
remember.
you had to be at the performances, and the performances were always on activity days. Like we would always have an activity that day, and I'm just like, I'm sorry, I can't go. I've got a band thing.
I'm a band student. I can't do that.
It was always inconvenient because on every single occasion of it being a band day, they were doing something really fun.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
So it's just like, band, why do you do this to me? I just want to go to my activity. We're playing kickball.
Oh, that.
I remember there was this one occasion, I believe in middle school, where we went to a high school or something like that.
Oh yeah.
Maybe this was during.
I think it was when
Maybe this was during high school.
I think this was when they were showing us the high school, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think. Not. It wasn't our high school that we're going to now, or the one that we previously going to, depending on when this is uploaded.
The old building, yeah.
We went to another high school for a band concert.
Oh yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah.
And this high school that we went to was massive. Like, it was a good 4 stories tall, and it went. It looked like it went like a good 2 or 3 stories into the ground. It was just massive. And it had like a. You know how our new school has like these balconies that have kind of holes that allow you to see to the lower floor?
Yep.
It was like that, but it was like 6 stories up.
Oh.
So it was just a huge drop on one side, and then the classes on the other, and the huge library. And then they had like 3 or 4 other buildings just for like band and theater and stuff like that.
Ah.
Absolutely massive school. Or at least this is how it's personified in my head. I don't know if that's exactly how it went, but
You were in middle school, so you probably saw it a lot bigger because, well, no, duh, you were used to the
yeah,
tiny middle school, so.
yeah. I don't know if this was in middle school or high school, but after freshman year of high school, I quit band because I was like, okay, at this point, I don't need to take this class
Well, yeah,
because if
it's
I continued
required.
taking this class, it would take up too much of my credits and I wouldn't be able to pass
It was
some
also
other
required
classes I
at
want
that
to take.
point to take PE or a physical education class. So either way, you had to
Yeah.
take it.
So I had, at least for freshman year, I had band and PE. And
Yeah, I
at
remember
that
that.
point, I was still taking the bus. And I
I
was
rem-
getting fed up with bringing a trombone on a bus that had my knees clenched up right to my chest and a trombone sitting next to me
yeah.
and a backpack. I was just cramped everywhere. Uh, if I remember right, that's the year that I had something happen with my ankle.
Yep. I
I
also
think I,
remember that. I think it also something else happened in.
yeah,
For
I stretched my sacroiliac.
yeah.
Uh, so PE was a fun year for at least a
You,
good 3 months or so. I was in a boot
you didn't really do
of P.
much throughout those three months though.
I did not. I think I played a little bit of volleyball, being I just kind of bounced the volleyball off the wall,
Yeah.
and then just back at my face, kind of.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Uh, yeah, I do remember how I just freaking hit my nose like 3 times with the volleyball,
Yeah.
just in a row, just bonk, up hits the wall, hits my nose. Do it again, bonk, hits my
Yeah.
nose. Do it
I remember
again,
that.
bonk,
I
hits
do
my
remember
nose.
watching you bounce it off a wall quite constantly and somehow still managing to hit yourself.
I got like 3 bloody noses that day.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a fun day of PE. Oftentimes we would just kind of sit over on top of the bleachers
Oh
with
yeah, I with Gaetano.
was Gaetano in that class? There was another guy.
Yeah, it was Gaetano, but it was somebody else there too.
What was this his name?
I don't know. I don't remember.
It was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I
But
can't
it was
remember names
funny
for
because
craps.
Mr. Stewart kind of just looked at us and was like, "All right, these lads are not gonna do anything."
He didn't stop us, to be
Well,
honest. Dude's
did.
chill.
He did call it out, but like he never did anything about it.
Yeah, we were just up there the entire PE.
Yeah, the
Well, I
entire
was up
period.
there for a reason because I couldn't physically do anything else.
We were
I
just
still had
up
the
there.
boot on.
We were just up there. I don't. I think it was because we were lazy, and also because we just wanted to hang out, basically.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you just played DS the entire time.
Yeah, we did, and that was
Oh
what.
man. But hey, I still failed, well, quote unquote failed. I got a C on the final test in that class, which was about volleyball,
Oh, I
which I
don't
was
remember
supposed to be
what.
studying for 3 months.
I don't remember what I got. I think I bombed that test really hard.
I think you passed. And I
Because
remember
well,
you did better than me.
I don't remember. It was like 3 years ago.
And it's like, oh, it's really hard to get a bad grade in PE, and me over here with like a B in the class.
You inquire at one point because the performances and actually some of the big group practices are also kind of important. She would grade them quite heavily, and obviously my I forgot at one point about one of them, and that That thing got my grade down straight from an A down to like a D, and I was like, nice. Failing the easiest class in the freaking school.
Oh man. I remember way back in elementary school while we were out here, I was in band and we had the final concert come up. And we
Oh
were all
yeah.
practicing. And I went to the rehearsal, and there was all the parents at the rehearsal as well.
Oh
But there
yeah.
was also the final concert where we did it at night, or like the second showing of it.
Oh
And I
yeah.
didn't go to that because I didn't think it was necessary.
Mistakes were
Turns out
made.
it was. And I was like, was not expecting that.
You weren't expecting like the F in the grade book.
Well, no, it wasn't an actual class. There was
Oh.
no, like, band class. There was, like, an early morning band where we'd get up and go to school an hour early before class and
Oh
school
yeah.
started.
Zero
We'd do
period.
band and, yeah, it was basically zero period, but it wasn't, like, an official thing.
Yeah,
Or
I
maybe it
do
was, I
remember.
don't know.
I do remember that in middle school we had to take those stupid like enrichment classes at the beginning of the day.
Oh, those things sucked.
I do remember that for one year we were both in the same. It was the coding one. We were both in the coding one, and
Yeah.
we both just played cool math games the whole period.
Oh, that was a fun time.
That was
I
fun.
remember they had a line dancing class.
Yeah,
And then they just couldn't think of any other enrichment classes, so they just gave it to me for an entire year.
they gave you the witch class,
They gave me the line dancing class. It
which just
taught you
made.
how to line dance,
Oh,
and
I
now
think
that's the only
I think
dance
at
I
one
know.
point I had yoga, but I didn't really do much in it. I just sat in the corner and played games the whole period.
That's all you did during
Yeah.
middle school and high
That
school.
that was
Just
my
play
that
games.
was just me in middle school, just in general for any period that I considered boring. I was just 3DS it is.
DS.
Yep.
Well, DS it is. Hoo-hoo. Oh, that was fun.
It got me through middle school, so I guess it worked. I don't
It
know how good I.
worked.
I mean, I
It
didn't.
worked.
It worked partially. I mean, I got lowest grade that I got throughout all of middle school was a C.
Nice.
So I'm like, hey, it passed.
It works.
If it if it works, it works. I passed. That's all that matters. I mean, grades, middle school grades don't matter, but
You do if you're in middle school.
they
Do
do
they
in
matter to
middle.
you?
Well, yeah, in middle school they actually do matter, but when you're for like other stuff outside of it, like for high school or even for like college, they don't matter.
All
The
that
high
really
school,
matters is like your first semester grades, and then
the high school grades are
after
where
that,
it's at.
yeah. But hey, I don't know how to end this. So I guess has been our school experiences.
Yep.
Uh, I guess that's the lads signing off. Have a great week.
See ya.